Hi, welcome to Miss Julie's Montessori Minutes. I'm so glad you found this video. Today I'm going to show you how to make some cheap or maybe even free fun toys for your toddler that are super easy to put together, like easy. First epiphany I ever had about how cheap and easy it can be to keep a toddler amused and engaged and learning and having fun was when I was about 12 and I was babysitting a neighbor, and as the mother was leaving, she said, if she gets really bored or cranky, just open up the Tupperware drawer and let her play in it. And I thought, well, okay, that's weird. But then I did it, and she just played, taking the lids on, putting them off, stacking them, having all sorts of fun, right? And since then, I've been a firm believer in just using what you have at home and getting simple objects to keep your child happy and entertained. So with that in mind, I decided to take you along with me as I put together some Montessori style developmental aids or toys for eye-hand coordination using things I got from a secondhand store, in this case, Goodwill. And you might even have these items already at home, so you could do it for free. But the idea isn't for you to just copy what I've had, but just show you the thought process, show you how to just look at the items you already have and put together engaging materials for your child. All right, so let's get serious about having fun. I'm gonna unload my Goodwill bag here and see what we got. Total was about $35, and I think we're going to be able to make quite a few developmental aids out of this and have leftover items for other crafts. Tommy Hilfiger, did you need a Tommy Hilfiger toothbrush holder? All right, so these items I all have in mind for eye-hand coordination activities. And I just wanted to point out that I didn't buy any of these items from the toy section. They were in housewares or craft or accessory areas of the store. So when you're buying items that aren't specifically made for children, you will want to consider, is there a potential for a choking hazard? And if you haven't watched my video on materials to use, I'll put a link to it. When we're inviting our children to use materials, it is nice to offer them items besides just plastic and besides just wood also. I have these little, whatever they are, bangles to play with and a little candlestick. It's not too heavy, but it's just nice for your child to have a variety of textures, and this is nice and smooth and feels cold because it's metal. These are nice and bumpy and they make a satisfying sound when you play with them. And if we have environments for our children that aren't totally made up of plastic, we don't need to create sensory bins constantly because the environment provides them with a lot of opportunities to use all their senses. All right, and I would just put out a few rings at a time. And this is eye-hand coordination to figure out how to get it on. And it is a little challenging if they don't get it right because it's so close. And so that's good for an older toddler. And then we'll just see how that makes it satisfying little clinking too. See? So $8. All right, so bam, rings on a vertical dowel. This is one of my favorite types of items to make, and I find all kinds of items at your secondhand store and probably even in your own home that allows a child to practice that on-off movement where they have to have eye-hand coordination and manipulation of the fingers and of the wrist to do the activity. And just getting a simple base and rotating what you put on keeps the activity interesting. So you could start with a younger toddler, just with the bracelets, putting the bracelets on. And napkin rings, I can only find super fancy napkin rings that were kind of beyond my cheap budget, but I have many times found wooden and metal napkin rings at the secondhand store. But here I'm going to use those shower curtain rings, right? Fun. And you could even set this up if you have multiple sets of napkin rings or shower rings to have, you know, different rings to use at the same time, so they could see how they have to manipulate their hands, and their eye-hand coordination will have to be different depending on what they're putting on. So this, I don't actually know exactly what this is designed to be. If you know, put in the comments. Book holder? Maybe, like for a cookbook or something? Plate holder? I don't know. But paper towel holders, ornament holders, that sort of thing can all be repurposed. I know even at the dollar store, they just have like a dollar, really simple paper towel holder. All right, and this one's really nice because it's stable for the younger child. All right, so bam, $4. So $4, tons of fun. And chances are, just look around your house, there's something like this that you can give to your child. If you have other ideas, put them in the comments below. Okay, so for the next one, I'm going to do a little matching game, a little portable matching game they could take with them anywhere to play with or use at home. So I've got, maybe this is an earring holder, some kind of little organizer. I think of fishing tackle, just because I live with a bunch of fishermen, but little container with compartments. All right, let's see. Bam, little sorting toy bag. And you could put more pom-poms of each color in there if you wanted, but I like to just keep it simple, and they can take them out and put them in over and over. All right, now we've got our little ceramic item, and I do encourage you to have some glass or ceramic. I'm pretty familiar by now on what items are going to break into chunks and what are going to break into little pieces, so I can just tell by the weight in this that sure, it could break. Your child can learn to be careful with it, and if it does break, it's going to break into large chunks and not little shards. So that's good eye-hand coordination, getting the pipe cleaner into the hole and using a different variety of grass. They can figure out which way is easier. And you could do this with or without the color matching, but I just had some extra sequins, so I decided I would do it that way. And then when your child is bored with that, you can repurpose the pipe cleaners, take the sequins off, and save it for when they go off to college. This is a scarf holder, and I thought this would be interesting for children to practice wrapping things and attaching things. And so I'm going to use those pipe cleaners for that. This is just a free play kind of thing you can demonstrate, and then they can just have fun with it. And the older child, you could give them like bandanas or actual scarves and show them how to practice tying a loop or a knot. Okay, I also want to show you an item I have in the classroom that has been very popular, and you could come up with your own variations on this for eye-hand coordination. So this is something that at first glance can look very simple, and you might not think of offering it to an older child, young preschooler, but we use this ornament hanger seasonally. And right now I have some little birds that I got at a craft store. They were like in the clearance bin. I got a bunch of them for $1. And this, well, I know I wouldn't have paid more than $5 for it, but I don't remember because I've had it for a while. But see, the hooks go away from the child and they're at all different heights. And so this work is quite challenging for the children to hang these birds, and they really do concentrate, even the older children in my classroom, and they enjoy it because it's lovely after they've put all the ornaments on too. So they have to first figure out how to hold a loop, and that's good practice for hanging up coats too. And this is something you could have out and then vary the items, you know, at the season of the year. Okay, right here I have photos of items I did not buy just because I knew I would just be returning it right back to Goodwill. So I took photos, and this I believe is a scarf maker. Comment below if you know. I think it's a scarf maker, but you could use it for a geo design board. If you had large rubber bands, you could use those, or you could buy tights, cut those into loops and let them play, and for far less and far more different and interesting than the little plastic rubber band boards you can get. So this little setup be, you know, great just to get some little wallets and purses for pretend play. So, you know, pretend they're going shopping or whatever. It's also good for eye-hand coordination because you can practice zipping, you could practice snapping. This has a very interesting clasp to work on, and again, makes a little satisfying click. And you can give them little items to put in there to play, and like, or, you know, even money. Hey, could give them some of the bracelets, and they practice eye-hand coordination. Getting items in and out and opening and closing is very interesting to toddlers. And they can practice putting the items all together in the largest case. All right, bam. All right, thanks for watching. I hope this inspired you to look around your house and think of how can we repurpose things the child can play with for eye-hand coordination and save a lot of money. I like saving money. If you like this video, consider watching my playlist of how to choose a Montessori toy. All right, see you next time.